What's up everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about an indicator that has 94% success rate, and it's all live and it's all free. I'll be showing you where you can find it and how you can use it. So right after you like this video, let me show you. So this is a live indicator that anybody can go and use. And of course you need to know how to look at some of the data over there in order to apply those predictions to your own trading, which I'm gonna show you anyway. However, this is an indicator that uses for the first time in the world the on-chain data. At the same time, as I mentioned, 94% success rate. That is already huge. What they do, they used Coinmarketcap, 21 different exchanges, their live data in order to create this indicator. And also, because it was very successful, their predictions, they will soon be listed in 3 commas. Maybe some of you already know this artificial intelligence, the bot trading, they will be having their indicator in their system. They worked on it for the last 3 years. So quite an experience that they create this indicator with. Right over here, you can see their YouTube channel. Watch, decide, win. It's their motto actually. They're not giving signals out that you need to buy over here and you need to sell over here. No, you just need to read this one and understand what's happening in the indicator. That's what I'm going to help you with today with all the details. So what do? You just read the chart, you understand what it says to you, and then after that you decide, and eventually, hopefully, out of that 94% success rate, you're winning after all. Of course, you got to be careful. We are in the bear market anyway. You can already see over here it works for Bitcoin at the moment and the gold as well. 1st of January, 8th of January. So 1 week period. At the end of every week on Sunday, the closure of the week, they're renewing the week and they're having another week of live trading just to show it to you with this indicator. So when we go to their site, we'll be seeing this kind of a chart. It might be a little overwhelming in the very beginning, especially for the beginners. Though I'll be explaining one by one what is it and how can you read this chart actually. So this is a combination of 4 different charts. So you have to actually look at one to be able to understand, and you can compare it with the other ones. We'll talk about it later on. Over here, you'll be seeing 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 4 hours, and 1 hour charts, different charts. But you can see there are different lines with different colors and what those mean, right? Let's start one by one. I will be explaining to you, I'll be explaining how you can look at it and how you can understand what to do after all. First of all, yellow lines, the top and the bottom. This is a combination of 3 indicators, RSI, CCM, and IFT, and the data being taken from there, which we can think of as the Fibonacci, the 77 level, and the 23 levels. They're looking at the previous 120 candles, they collect the data from here, and they summarize it for you, and these are the lines that represent that. Though, just by looking at these lines, we may not understand exactly where the market is, right? So we need something additional over here, which is, let's continue with the white line actually right now. So you can see over here, the movement is changing. This white line represents the price movements within these lines and within these yellow lines, and the other ones we'll talk about it in a minute. Basically what they do, they get the average. They divide by 10 the 120 candles that they checked previously in order to create the yellow lines, and so they get a clearer picture, the faster picture, so it can move and it can give you some ideas, some signals eventually. So how we look at it, when the white line, when the price movement goes over the top of the yellow line, there is a chance that it's being bought a lot and it might drop after all, as it happened right over here that it dropped back. And at the same time, when it goes under, there is a chance that it can go up again because it's been oversold as well. So it can go up from here, as it happened after kind of a stable movement after over here that it went up again. This is how we can look at it. This is how we can understand what we can do. The short, the long, the buy, or the sell. So this is the idea what we can get from here. And at the same time, we're seeing over here blue lines. It's more like a channel over here. And in this blue lines, mainly it shows the range, the momentum within. And they also look at the previous 120 candles for this one too. The indicators that are being used over here, RSI, EFT, and MFI, which is the money flow index. So they understand what the trend is. Mainly within this channel, you can do a better scalping in the shorter period of times because it moves faster. Eventually it's shorter, it's closer channel, and price within this channel moves faster. So what you can do scalping and the fast trading. Just as a small note over here, if this white line goes over the top of the blue, as well as over the top of the yellow, this is a strong indicator that it will go down afterwards, as it happened right over here. It is a strong indicator because it just crossed the boat. There was a high demand because they are looking at the volume. The selling is starting, so it might be a good idea on the lookout for short or just to sell whatever you have in the hand and see what you're going to do afterwards. Because one more thing that I would like to add over here, this is important. What they do, they focus on the volume. they don't focus on the number of the orders. So let's assume that there are like 40 orders, 35 of them, let's say $5, and 5 of them is $5,000 each. So they're not going to count this as a 40 equal orders. No, not really. They will collect and eventually they will get the average of it for the volume itself, how much money went into the market. And according to that, this indicator can show correctly, can predict correctly, which is obviously 94% is quite a huge success ratio eventually. There's also one more different color line over here, which is the purple right in the middle. This is VFI, and it was being used since 1990s most probably. It works for the long-term graphics. It's like an hour or more than that, and it works like this. If the price is over it, it's more of an upper trend. If the price is lower, below zero, it's mainly a downtrend. So by looking at it, not in the shorter periods, but in longer charts like 1 hour or more, you can have a better understanding where the market will go. And finally, you do have trend ups and trend downs, which are right over here. For example, the trend down, for example, the trend up. So what it does is they predict by looking at the previous 30 candles where the trend will go. Particularly for this indicator, it predicts the trend ups with 92% success rate, and it predicts the trend down 95% success rate. It is a live session, so you can all see the previous information, previous movements accordingly, and decide afterwards what you will be doing with this information. And one more small tip for you. What you can do, because you do have the 4 charts right in front of you, you can see 1 hour what the trend will be, if it's showing trend up or down, if the white is already crossed upwards, so it can be downwards afterwards. So for example, for the 5 minutes, it's below the yellow line, so there is a chance that it can trend a little bit and then afterwards go upwards. You can look at it that way. So once you see in a 1 hour the trend is down, and then you can look at the 5 minutes or 15 minutes chart and see the blue lines. You can do scalping accordingly, so you can understand what the trend is in the long run, and then for the short run, what you can do, you can decide afterwards easier. And over here, for example, they have a 15 minutes of Bitcoin signal that I can show you. And you can see over here the 15 minutes Bitcoin signals. As I mentioned to you, currently it's very close, yellow line in the very bottom, so you can decide accordingly. It might again pick up and show some other trends because it's being sold a lot at the moment. So something like this is how you can look at it. I hope it's more clear right now to you. You understand it a little better. It's not that overwhelming like in the very beginning, and I'm hoping that it will be very useful for you. And if so, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and take care of yourself until the next time.